All right, let's give it up for Ken. Come to the stage. Thank you. Praise yourself, brother. Wow. All right. My voice is clear and loud enough. It's definitely super bright here, so that's somehow in a good thing, maybe. So my name is Ken, and my topic, which I put on Instagram because I had to give 3 words, was fixing is disrespecting. And some people were like, wait a minute, we are a lot of fixer here, fixing and giving solution as entrepreneurs, right? So how can fixing be disrespecting? Well, the statement which came to me in a sense of I was reading a book and the quote was, fixing oneself is disrespecting one inner state. And this stayed with me and then irritated me a bit. And at the same time, there was also like a relief. And I did, in my career in that sense, make a living being a fixer. So I'm half Indonesian, half German. So I spent most of the time in Indonesia, and then I went to Germany, studied, and then made the career. And I was in corporate, and then I was like, yes, it's a big German billion billion euro company. And I started growing up and became a fixer. So I did lean management, Six Sigma for some people know it, and I did transformation. So I was like, woo, cool. And then I got the opportunity to work on a transformation for human resource, changing the whole headquarters thing. And I was like, great. And at the same time, my dad came to Germany and visited me. And I was like, woo, what a perfect opportunity to show off a little bit. If I'm truthfully, a part of me was like, my Chinese Indonesian part was like, now I can prove my word and I can show it. I'm working directly with the CHRO, the top 5 person in the room, in the company. So I invited my dad to join. And he's like, cool, sit in the workshop. I'm leading a workshop. And the CHRO, so the senior leadership, was in the room. And I was delivering the workshop. And because it was about continuous improvement. And at the end of the workshop, I asked, is there any feedback? And then from the back of the room, a hand raises. And I was like, whew. And guess what? I got some improvements. I got literally in front of the senior management improvement feedback, what I could do better from my dad. It was like like a rug pulled out of my legs, and I was like, internally, the fuck is happening at the moment? Is this real? Am I in a movie? But obviously, senior management was sitting here, and I was like, all right, yeah, thank you very much. And that's all about continuous improvement. Yay. And everyone left, and a part of me also left. Because in that moment, I thought, oh, I'm not good enough. Something is wrong with me. I need to fix it. And the fixer I am, I put that part, my anger, my sadness, my whatever feeling, I said, you know what? I have a special box for you. At some point, some of us maybe call it the Pandora box. I was like, these feelings, my inner state's too much. Put it in there. And I continued working. And then this never went away. I keep adding stuff. And at some point, it felt like a door which was sometimes pushing. And as simple, if someone asked me, hey, how are you doing? I could feel the door pushing. I'm like, should I really connect to my feelings and share what's really my inner state? I'm afraid that this door will burst open. And sometimes it did. Sometimes I had a burst moment. And it did happen at work. Someone asked that question, how are you doing? And they gave me that motherly hug. And I just collapsed literally. I started cramping. I was sweating so much. I was steaming. And I could feel like, oh my God, what's happening? And inside me was like, no, 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 no. You're the fixer. You cannot be broken. You cannot be broken. And you shared it a bit. Is my dad the villain? Not necessarily. I took at some point a decision, said, you know what? Feelings and all of that which I cannot cope, I'll push it away. And then I also remembered, I think it was around this year, I joined also the Brotherhood. And for me, there was this feeling of like, men are fixers. And goddamn, if I meet them, they just want to fix me if I have something. And that is where the statement itself, I was like, fixing is disrespecting. Because suddenly I too was like, no, no, let's not feel this anymore. Whatever is happening. Nice Neo's music. Hello, that's my conscious calling. Dude. But many times I realized I was so afraid to really open up because I knew in many moments, and I wish someone told me this. Yes, I did go to therapy and so on. But in many moments, I was like, we heard some talks about, like put a goal and somewhere there, I was like, I was doing that. I was fixing myself all the time because I saw my part of me and saying, you're broken. I need to do something. Fix it, and go there. And I was so good at it that I could not really sit with my inner state anymore. And that's why the sentence was so important at some point, because I was like, yeah, true. You know what? I have struggled with being with myself. I don't know how my inner state is anymore because most of the time it's just too much. And this is what I wish someone was sharing or telling me at some point. You know what? When you start to reconnect, that door is really pushing. And when it bursts open, it doesn't mean it will be forever, because inner part of me was thinking once that burst open, I will just be a wreck. I will just be crying like I did at work, and an ambulance came and I was totally off. But the good news is, in that moment, it's absolutely uncomfortable. And you'll be like, why am I doing this journey? At the same time, when we respect our inner state and we give it space, and if we're lucky enough, we have people who support us, and we can reach out at some point, and that's why like the brotherhood is a great thing, to that we can let that space, and then once the space is there, the future is also something new, because it's not anymore the past which wants to repeat itself and don't go on stage, don't make a workshop anymore, because if you ask for a feedback, who knows what will happen. So yeah, maybe that's the message I want to leave, is the next time you feel like you want to fix someone, definitely don't do it. But also feel inside, and if you feel like, oh, I need to fix something, that too is okay, because sometimes it is not the right moment to burst open and cry. But at the same time, keeping it back there all the time is not helping too. And yeah, that's why I made it a work for myself to be like, I want to be a space holder, because I want to create spaces for others to be able to release that and then have their potential back in life and not be so scared and, yeah, isolated anymore. So thank you very much. My name is Ken, and